So, what we're going to go through is kind of talk about niching again, real quick. And then I'm going to break down like what are ways that you can plan your week with different types of content and then how you can bring it all together. Because I feel like so many of us are like, how do I do this? There's so much information out there. But again, like with this 90-day challenge that we're doing, I want to give you guys the most value and have like the most bang for your buck. Like you're not just producing content and then not seeing any results. So I kind of have a formula that I think encompasses the different types of content that is out there for us to utilize both on Facebook and Instagram. And the best way to make use of that without feeling overwhelmed. So here's what I'm thinking, and I'm gonna write. I'll probably type it up too, or I'll put something up in the team page at some point today of this, like what I think would be something that you could just follow, and it would be easy for you to be like, okay, these are the things I need to create. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna create them, and then you don't have to like wonder, when am I going to post on Tuesday? When am I going to post on Wednesday? And when am I going to post on Thursday? So I'm just going to say it now, and then I'll put up a template on our team page at some point today. So reels, at least if you can get 3 reels in a week. I recorded one day in an hour, I recorded like 10 reels. And here's the thing, here's what I would suggest with doing that is setting a timer for 5 to 10 minutes. And I think I'm thankful for Chantel sharing her suggestion of like, she'll listen to a couple, and if she's not seeing anything that's like catching her eye, she'll hop off, because I think it's easy to get sucked into just watching a bunch of reels. Guilty. But so what you can do is like save the sounds, and then you can record yourself with sounds and have no idea like what the context will be. And I got this tip from Brock Johnson because I follow him and he's like a big reels guy. He said he'll record with the sound and not have any idea of what he's going to put up for like the verbiage or anything like that within the reel. And then he'll just get ideas and then he'll swap it out, which I've done this week and actually think that's very helpful. So just like taking a time to like batch 20 to 30 minutes and just change your outfits a couple times and record a couple of them. So if you can get 3 reels a week, or what to even do. Well, I think that's like how you can set a timer for a time period and just see what other people are doing. That's what I did. And then I thought like, how can I twist this into doing something that's related to what I'm trying to help people with, or my niche. So like my niche is helping other 30. I changed mine because I think I needed to be more focused. And so I changed mine to helping other 30 something mothers navigate health and motherhood from a biblical perspective. So then everything I post about should be geared towards me being 30 something, a mom, and health and the Bible, like everything. So then when I'm creating reels, I'm like, how can I do a biblical spin on this? How can I do like a motherhood spin on this? That sort of thing. Yeah. Yep. I think the more you do it, the better you get at it. Like at first it might be awkward, and that's totally fine. I even like have kept some of mine that I'm like, why did I even make that? That's dumb. But whatever. It helps people that like maybe if they're starting to get interest in maybe either becoming part of your team, see that you evolve as a person too, like that you're not just perfect from the get-go. So I keep those cringeworthy ones sometimes. So 3 a week if you can. 1 to 2 what I call carousels a week. And what a carousel is how I'm going to explain it, is something that is informative with words only. And you can repurpose those for Facebook too. But like in Facebook, you would maybe just do like one little quote, where in reels, you can do like a step-by-step guide. So like an example of a reel would be like, for me, I would do something that's Bible related, like maybe it's finding a new church, or maybe it's how to spot idolatry, or anything that like relates to the Bible or health. And then I would do like 1, blah, 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 2, blah, blah, blah. And they would all be separate slides. So doing 1 to 2 of those a week, so that you have some informative that's just text, and it's not all just photos, because what we're trying to do is when we're following people, we want them to stay on our page and have a reason to stay on our page, and to be set apart from the millions of other Instagram users that just post pictures of themselves all day long, right? So how can we be set apart? We're going to provide information to a very specific, a very specific group of people, and not just make it all about us, but making it about how we're helping a community of people. So that's how carousels can help with that. It kind of breaks up your feed a little bit, and it kind of draws attention to it, seeing like, oh, what is this just words thing? And if people want information quickly without having to read like a really long caption, they can just scroll through these slides. People's attention spans are super short. So if we can catch that with a quick how to, or ways to, or blah, 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 and then just allow them to read things in short snippets, it's so much easier for them to like digest and stay on and find value in what you're saying. So 1 to 2 of those types of just text only posts a week. 1 to 2 live videos, and this can either be on Facebook or Instagram, because I think that the importance of a live video is that the people get to see you unfiltered, just, unplugged basically, and gives a voice to you outside of just your stories. So 1 to 2 live videos on Facebook or Instagram, or both. So you could maybe do 1 on Facebook, 1 on Instagram. You can take the Instagram one that you do and repurpose it into an IGTV. So maybe that's once a week you do like, I'm just going to give you my example. I could do like a weekly devotional on a live, and save that as an IGTV. So then I always have that maybe the same day, same time, I do the exact same thing. I'll pull up Heather, for instance, because I like her like single parent tip Tuesday. So maybe you could go live and do your single parent tip Tuesday every single Tuesday at a specific time, because then people will remember, oh yeah, at this time she always does that, or whatever. And if you're doing it on Instagram, you can save it as an IGTV, and then it's almost like a series. A TV show. That's why it's called IGTV. And then sprinkling in posts about yourself to connect with your audience. So maybe that's your family. Maybe that's sharing a personal story of your own. Maybe that's sharing your Thrive testimony. Sprinkling in posts throughout the week that are about you. I think it's important for you to have something that is narrowed down that you can help people out with, but you also need to give people a glimpse into who you are as a person, because that builds trust. Yeah, it was. I really liked that. And I like how you do it in text form sometimes too. I think that's such a cool idea. And the more that you're consistent with that, the more reliable you come, and the more you'll see engagement on that too. So I really like that idea. I think that was really smart of you to start doing that. So posts about yourself can be like a picture with a caption. It can be like something that you're going on a journey through. It can talk about like, here's where I was and here's where I'm at now. Just anything that can help connect people to you. It can even just be like maybe once a month, or once a month would probably be a good thing. Like, here's a quick about me, because if you're adding consistently to your network, it's a good way for people that are new to your page to understand who you are, like what's your mission, what do you like doing, kind of a thing. Stories. This is the breakdown for stories, that I would suggest that you have this sort of mix in your stories to make the most of it. At least 1 whole story a week about samples. So maybe that's like you're showing a bunch of before and afters, and then have a poll after that. Or maybe it's you explaining the 3 steps and having a poll after that. Maybe it's you explaining that you are packing up samples and then having a poll about it, or showing, like, you can do, if you're not quite comfortable talking all the time, it's showing like, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, I'm packing up samples, here's what's included in a sample, whatever. So 1 poll story a week about samples, and that can be really any day. I would suggest Mondays and Fridays, or even Wednesdays would be the best times to do that, because Mondays people are tired, Wednesday middle of the week trying to power through, and Friday afternoons people are just like checked out and they're tired and they're done with the week, right? So those are 3 really good days to be doing that sort of thing. At least 1 engagement type of story. So whether that, and I think that, I would say 2 actually. 2 engagement type stories a week. So like maybe one of them is like a this or that thing, or maybe one of them is tell me more about you, or maybe this is like a slider. So like one of them could be a slider, like who else relates to this, and then they can interact with that story. Maybe it's a this or that, or like yesterday I did one where I'm like, I'm going to the grocery store. Do you want me to share what I'm buying? And I did a yay or nay. And that's a way for people to engage with you. I find like a lot more people interact with like sliders, because then it's not like a definitive, I'm answering this thing. It's just like a slide. So
what is a slider? I don't know what that is.
Let me see if I can pull it up so you can see it. So like this says like, kids will call your name 1,000 times just to turn around and do something like this. And it's that, but you can go to the little sticker and there's like this little bar. I don't know if you can see that at all.
Is this like on your page? I can always go look at it. Where is it?
I don't have one on there right now, but like if you go into Instagram, into stories.
Okay, so is this Instagram exclusively?
Let me see.
I haven't been using Instagram. I need to get better at it, but
I just like, honestly, like before I got super consistent with posting on Instagram, I always created my stories through Instagram just because I thought they had better tools personally. That was just me. Yeah, I don't think there's a slider sticker on Instagram that I'm seeing, but they have interactive stickers that you could use instead of the slider. So like these large ones are interactive, like a fire emoji, or like the heart, or the laugh face, and people can click on that and it interacts. The reason that it's important to have these type of interactive stories is because it boosts it up. So like when people are interacting with your stories, it'll push it up into, you know how you can see who's posted stories, it'll bump it up and get more views on your stuff. So at least 2 types of engagement stories a week. So like one of them, they can be stupid, non-Thrive related, your niche related. Like sometimes your stories are a way to show like a behind the scenes. Like it can be something your dog did, or something crazy your kids did, or like whatever, or a frustrating situation you ran into, or whatever. Steps in your stories. I think it's important that you mix it up, that it's not always exactly the same thing. Like you always have a picture of like this way with your capsules like this, that you're mixing it up. Maybe it's one day it's showing your face with your sticker and it's a boomerang. One day it might be a picture of your capsules on your nightstand with a glass of water. One day it might be your mix that you made. One day it should look like at least one time a week that you are talking about the 3 steps with your mouth, saying like, this helps me with this helps me with this helps me with this. Maybe it's you're only talking about one of the steps, like you have no idea how much this helps me with whatever ties into your niche. So like if you're I'll use Chantel for an example, like you're helping families with multiples, like when your kids are for some reason all feel like it's a full moon and need to go crazy, this is the way to save yourself and talk about mood support. Or like when your baby doesn't sleep well, like you need these capsules because they're teething, or like whatever, using it very, very specific that people within your niche are going to relate to. Yeah, so changing it up throughout the week. Sometimes it can just be a quick snapshot of your capsules and explaining how they help you. And you need to have at least one time a week where you're talking verbally about it. So those are kind of like the breakdowns of the types of content that are out there and that I would suggest doing. Again, I'm going to type all of this up so you're not like just going by your own notes or your fabulous memory if you have one. So now I'm going to break it down to how we can narrow our focus on days of the week that relate to your niche if possible. So I'm going to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to go super fast. So Monday, inspiration is going to be your focus for Monday. So how are you going to inspire your audience? Because it's the beginning of the week. Maybe that is, if you're in your niche, sharing an inspiring quote that can sound like sharing a story that's related to you that's inspiring, something that's going to help people feel filled up and like prepared for their week or ready for their week. This can be you doing a live that talks about inspiring, or like how you can inspire people to prepare for their week, or whatever that looks like. Anything that's inspiring people, sharing maybe memes that are inspiring within your story, just like having an overall theme to your day of inspiration if you can. Tuesday, education. How are you going to educate? So like Heather, I kind of had you in mind because I thought you have your single parent tip Tuesday, educating your audience on something. So maybe that is like, for Clara, I know she's talking about mental health a lot. So like 5 ways to identify X, or 5 things you can do to benefit your mental health. Like something that's going to help educate your audience based on your niche. Education can also look like educating people on your 3 steps in your stories. So maybe that's the day that you talk about your 3 steps in your stories. Just sort of an education framework. That doesn't mean that that's all you have to post about, but you should at least try to gear it that way, because then it just helps you have some sort of focus and understanding of, this is what I can post every single week is about education on Tuesdays, educational Tuesdays, inspirational Monday. It just keeps it easier. We get paid on Tuesdays also. So I think it's important, like, you incorporate that some way, and maybe that's you just sharing a snippet of your email for your payday, or talking somehow about getting paid. And I had this conversation with Heather, and I think this is really beneficial. Like, when you're first starting out in the business, or maybe you haven't quite built a team yet. So like maybe you're not quite confident in your leadership or speaking about the business and like what it has to offer, because you're like, I'm not at the place where I want to be yet. Talk about what the company as a whole has to offer instead of just focusing on yourself, because it is not our place to discredit someone's ability to get into the business and maybe take off with it based on the timeline that we're seeing with ourselves. So you can talk about now. I would think going into October through December would be an amazing time to start talking about Christmas cash for people. So if like you're a mom, how easy of a way for you to transition to talking about the business side is Christmas. Like your kids, Christmas, hello, paying for Christmas in cash because getting $1,200 in the first 2 weeks within this business. So it's not even necessarily about, these are the leadership qualities that I have to offer, or let me tell you about my personal success story. Taking the business as a whole and what the company offers people and utilizing that in place until you feel like you've built enough confidence within your own leadership skills or your own testimony to be able to speak on that specifically. So just talking about that at a high level, I think would be a really good thing. So keep that like Christmas money thought in mind, or Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate. I think most of us are Christmas here. Get a general idea. I mean, you can look at the income disclosures. That's a really good way to see that. I would say when I was a 4K, I was probably earning 300 to 400 a month. I wish that would have been sweet. 300 to 400 a month. And as a 12K, you can probably, as a 12K consistently without bonus, I'll exclude bonus seasons. So just relying on the auto bonus, at least 1,000 a month at the minimum, 1,000 a month. That's like doing the very bare minimum.
Well, essentially you could, by being a 12K, you could earn on the low end $1,800 a month, like your income plus your auto bonus.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's a very, very, very achievable number as a 12K.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. So I'm a 12K right now. Ricky, he was a 12K. I lost his rank last month, but combined between the two accounts, I make about 40,000 a year roughly. So that's like the high end of a 12K. I would say a 40K is 40 to 50,000 a year. And then 80K is like 50 to 100. 200K is probably like there's 100K plus. So that kind of gives you a breakdown. So like even as a 4K, I think we think a lot of the times we're thinking the perspective of like replace your income, but instead we need to be thinking of a perspective of supplement your life. Like the things that like with as a 4K, what would $1,000 extra a month do for a lot of families? That's a mortgage.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, how can I spend this for other people who are looking to get into a side hustle to begin with, to transition it into, you know, a business the way we're running it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like a mortgage payment's huge. Like how much would that free up for you to be able to like do things with your kids or to I don't know, just like have money set aside for emergencies. Like that's something that so many people like stress out about. And I think like there's this like really big weight on the world right now with everything because there's so much uncertainty. Like how much of a breath of fresh air is it to be able to earn income with aside from all like the things that are going on? Like this is your own thing that nobody can take away from you. And it's not tied to a building and it's not tied to other people dictating it. It's you solely. So that, and I was telling my husband this, I'm like, I've never been more grateful for my own business right now. But yeah, so I think that a problem a lot of people have, or that they kind of shoot themselves in the foot with, is they're trying to think of replace your income, full-time income, when so many people are just struggling to get by at this point. And just what, even like I think of when I started, I just needed gas money because I was running out of gas to go to work and I drove so far, like just the simplistic things. So like even just like in your stories doing a boomerang of the gas pump and being like filling up the gas pump with my side business. Like gas is freaking expensive right now. Like that's a big thing for people. So Wednesday, teach. So like I guess it's kind of in alignment with education. Education's like a step-by-step. Teach would be, maybe I need to change that. I guess it doesn't hurt to educate people 2 days in a row, but like teaching them on something else. Thursday, kind of tell your story. What are you grateful for? Because I know we have grateful or thankful Thursdays. Tell a story that's like empowering to people. Maybe explain. This might be one of the days where you do like your about me and you kind of like tell you about yourself, explain a situation that you went through, whatever. Friday, inspiration again, just because we're wrapping up the week. People are like dragging their feet into work, like, oh, it's the last day of the week, usually. Saturday, I strictly try to do entertainment if I can. So like this morning, I was making my shake and I did my 3 steps or whatever. And I don't know if I didn't like shut the top of my shake cup all the way, but like, you can't see it because I used like a wet wipe to like get it all off me, but I spilled it all over myself. And I was like, do you ever wonder why like God gives you certain attributes? Like mine is clumsiness. Like I can't even drink a shake without spilling all over myself like a 2-year-old. And then I did like a funny meme afterwards that's like, when God created me, it was like, and a little bit of clumsiness, whoops, and it's like the whole pour in or whatever. But like anything, because a lot of people are preoccupied with things like this is their time with their family. This is when they can, you know, this is when they're doing like sports stuff. Maybe they have weddings, they have birthdays, they have things going on. So anything that's like, if you can quick hit them, if you're going to do something longer, I would do it earlier in the morning, like 8 or 9 o'clock. But if as much as you can, doing quick hits throughout the day that entertain people, funny things, as much as you can. Sunday, as you all know, I've had a recent refocus with my faith. Sunday for me, I think, is a day to honor God. So I think it's important for us, like, yes, we have our own business, but if you're constantly submerged in, I need to do this, in the hustle mode 24/7, you can get burnt out real fast. So for me, I think it's important for me to pass that down on to you guys, that you, even if you're not a big person of faith, that you are respecting. Yeah, I think it's definitely good for your algorithm too. Yes, because then you're like popping up the next day and everyone's like, ooh. I will occasionally post in my stories on Sundays. I will occasionally throw up a post on Sundays, but my purpose is like, this is a time for me to disconnect from my business. As much as like, I absolutely love doing my business. It's something I enjoy. I love interacting with people. I love creating content. I love being creative. I love speaking to people. I love all those things, and I'm so grateful that those are aspects of our business. But at the same time, living within the world and the comparison and all the garbage and stuff like that 24/7 is exhausting. So it's important for you to disconnect, because I've found, since I've been implementing this, I feel so much more invigorated on Mondays than I'm just trying to hustle 24/7. And like, that's our culture in America. I feel like is like hustle, hustle, hustle. And what you wonder why there's a mental health epidemic in the world.
I'm so glad you said that, Megan. I find that on Sundays, I rarely post, and I felt so bad about it, but that's like the day I take. I mean, for me, it's just doing like chores and getting caught up, but taking that break is definitely helpful versus me stressing like, whoa, what am I going to post today?
Exactly. Yes. And like, I've just found like I'm so much more connected with my family when I do that. And I don't feel, and if you, because I see some people, if you are, and you can say this, you can tell I think it's important that maybe you tell your people, like, have a pre-post or a pre-story like created saying like, taking the day to be with my family, or honoring God with my day today. And then putting your phone away. Like, the messages you get, they're going to be there tomorrow. And if somebody is like hinging on, if you really think somebody's going to fall off because you didn't answer their message that day, then they're not meant to be in your organization anyways. So I think it's important for us to appreciate time and to not feel like the weight of the world, especially if you're working a job while you're doing this business, you guys. Like, I think it's important that you take a step back. So I just have Sunday as God's day. There's no plan. You can, do with what you want and not post at all and not feel guilty about it, you guys. Like, enjoy the rest, enjoy like catching up on things, enjoy being with your family. So I hope that this was helpful today. I know it's really short, but I think it's very concise. We don't need to overcomplicate things. And I think we get the world of information is like trying to drink from a fire hose a lot, and you get so much conflicting information from different people, and you just want to try all these different things because you see all these different ways that different people are all being successful. But I think what's important for us is to get back to simple. That's kind of my goal going into these next 90 days, is like, how do we have a simplistic system that anybody that is joining this business can plug in and do? That we do have like the first 14 days mapped out for people, which is super nice in those slides if you've forgotten about that. But just a simple system, like, here's what I would recommend for posting. And that's it. And just following the same system every single week, doing the same thing, it makes your life simpler. It makes your business simpler. We're going back to simple with how we're going to be. It's samples, just samples in people's hands, like not trying to make things like super complicated. And I think that's how we get frustrated, is when we overcomplicate things and when we're trying a bunch of different things and not really staying consistent with one specific thing. That's when you can kind of like not see a lot of progress, is because you're jumping all over the place and you're not really just giving it time. And so that's why I wanted to come together just as us, instead of like bringing a bunch of other people into this Zoom, is because this is what my vision is for you guys, is that we have a simplistic business that we can run, be happy about, understand, have focus and clarity, and that we can feel confident bringing other people into this because we have a simple system laid out, and it's just do these things and support one another. So thank you guys for taking your day today, and thank you for giving me grace with all the craziness. I just want to add this as well. Sometimes I have to have a come to Jesus with myself. I'm human just as everybody else. And sometimes I feel like that's part of being a good leader, is having self-reflection a lot of the time, and seeing like these are areas that maybe I'm falling short. And then I can see how it's, what's the word ripple affecting down. You're welcome, Sarah. I hope you feel better. Love you. She jumped off before. But I think self-reflecting, I realized that even I needed kind of like a kick in the butt. And I want to thank Heather for being persistent, because sometimes we need that to hold ourselves accountable, is some persistence on the back end from somebody else. And so thank you guys for having grace with me. I'm really, really, really looking forward to the next 90 days and forever, of course, but really getting focused and really helping you guys develop leadership skills within yourself, helping us grow as a team, and really helping other individuals change their lives as well, and really getting back to a simplistic form of business that, that we can feel good about. For me, that is faith driven, and that puts you guys at the front of everything. So because your dreams are important to me, your goals are important to me. When I was laying in bed one day, it was kind of one of my worst days with having COVID. And I had like a lot of heaviness on my chest. And of course, like I think the way that things have been painted, it's easy for you to fall into a fear thing. And I was just kind of like reevaluating things in my life. And I was thinking about you guys, and I was thinking about how you and anybody that we decide to bring into this business, that we're all humans with our own lives, and things happen, and people have goals, and they have things like trials are going through and troubles are going through, and situations occur in their life. And I just want to be here for you guys as much as possible and be an advocate for the goals that you're trying to accomplish with this business, because that's truly, truly, truly why I'm in this. And it's important to me. More than a paycheck, I realized that God really rearranged my heart to realize that this isn't about me and like the things I can get on a dream board. This is about how I can make an impact with other people using the gifts he gave me. So thank you guys. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And I will see you on Wednesday for our team Zoom on Wednesday, because it will be happening. And then I'm available all day today. I'll get the breakdowns up as well, the very specific breakdowns, so that you guys have a guideline of things that can help you. And feel free to ask me questions at any time. And we are really going to dig in one-on-one and grow together over the next 90 days. And I'm really excited. So love you guys. Have a wonderful Saturday.